What's up, friends? Everything happens for a reason, right? I mean, that's what I hear people say all the time. I hear people say it all the time. I remember when I was a young pastor, I was doing a funeral for a 19-year-old kid who lost his life. And that was the thing I kept hearing everybody say over and over and over again. Well, everything happens for a reason. Like I heard that a number of people, young and old. Well, he's gone at 19, but everything happens for a reason. And I wanted to yell, what reason? Who told you that? In John chapter 9, Jesus and his disciples are walking down the road and there's a blind man on the corner, most likely begging because of his condition. And these disciples, they don't engage him, they just look at Jesus and they say, hey, here's an illustration. Tell us, Rabbi, why was this man born blind? Why? Why was he born blind? Was it because of his own sins or his parents' sins? You see that assumption that's just built into what they're saying? Obviously, everything happens for a reason. So why was he born blind? Did he sin and so God was punishing him? Or did his mom or dad, or maybe their dad sin, and so God's choosing to punish him as a result of the generation before him? I know it sounds crazy when you look at it like that, but have you ever had something bad happen to you or find yourself struggling or suffering, and then in the back of your mind you wonder, well, everything happens for a reason. I deserve this. You ever get in a car accident or even a fender bender and you think, yep, this is because of this other area of sin in my life that was a secret, and now God is punishing me or giving me a wake-up call. I hear this stuff all the time, and it's not a biblical worldview. It doesn't line up with the character of God. Look at Jesus, how he answers. He says, what did you just say? Why? He goes, no, that's the wrong question. He says, it was not because of his sins or his parents' sins, Jesus answered. Just cuts that short. He says, this happened to him so the power of God could be seen in him. See, Jesus changes the question. He says, you're asking why and trying to find a reason for everything that's happened. You know what happens when you just ask why over and over and over again and you don't find a reason for it? You wind up making up your own reason. That's what happens. Jesus says, no, stop asking why and start asking how. Because here's a guy who's in a position for God to be glorified through his life. He says, no, this happens so that God's power could be shown in him. Not why, but how. How can God's power be shown through you? Maybe you're in a situation right now where you don't know how you got here, but you are suspicious of God. Maybe you think God has put you here or he's doing this to you, and it's discouraging you and it's causing you to lose faith. Maybe you have someone in your life who's in a tough situation and they're asking you to try to explain this to them because you're a Christ follower, right? You're a God person, right? And then you're tempted to say, well, everything happens for a reason. Well, maybe God will tell you later. Everything happens for a reason. My encouragement to you is to stop asking why and maybe start asking how. Because Romans 8:28 says God works all things according to the good for those who love him and who are called according to his purpose. And you, my friend, are called according to his purpose. See, there was a phone call that went out across the world, and it rang and it rang and it rang. And you picked it up and you said, I'm here, I'm listening, I'll respond. And for those of us who have responded to that call, we're also responding to the very voice that can help guide you so the work of God, the power of God, could be at work through your life. God wants to take your test right now, and he wants to make it a testimony. When he does that, all this pain and suffering that you've gone through won't have to be wasted, and you'll be able to use this to help serve other people. And that, my friend, is how everything doesn't have to happen for a reason, but it can happen for a purpose. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow.